Perfect timing. Just completed our Instagram selfie. Welcome, Reginald and Steve.
Hey, what's up?
We're going to be watching your guys' teams play today, so it's very intense. We had the analysts do some predictions, and we also had some fans do some predictions at the beginning of the day. So we're going to roll a clip of the fan predictions because they did your game specifically.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
All right, let's see.
All right, TSM versus Team Liquid. Who do you think's gonna win?
Hoping for Team Liquid, double a fan. So might have to cross my fingers on that one. It could be a toss-up. TSM's been looking strong lately, but I think Team Liquid can clinch it if they keep their synergy and their stuff together with their jungle.
Now, she was wearing a TSM jersey, so we actually invited her over to get a little bit deeper story here. Seem a little back and forth. Come over here, Ellie.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Very good. How are you?
Thanks for being a fan. That's awesome.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, but that jersey doesn't look right, though.
I know it's a little off color. I admit.
Okay, all right, well, we're gonna fix that. You need the new jersey.
Perfect. Excellent.
So, how much did TL pay you to come here?
Look at
and be a
Andy's
TL
gonna
fan?
start paying now for
Because,
fans.
you know, like,
See, we're taking fans one at a time.
Literal dollar bills.
There we go.
There we go. I love it.
Conversion before your eyes.
Awesome. Converted.
Now, she did say she still is a
Yeah.
TSM fan, but I guess Double Lift is just closer to your heart.
Yeah, I mean, I started watching about 2 years ago, and I was following Europe pretty closely at the time too. So I feel like the swap in the bot lane sort of like took me. But I mean, I still love Hanser and Bjergsen. I'm huge fans of them, and they're excellent. But sorry.
Yeah.
So you're a double fan, not really a TL fan, right? Because TL doesn't really have fans.
What are you talking about?
That's so salty. That's so salty.
It's rude, mean, inaccurate, and dumb.
Well, thank you for coming by, Ellie. Hope
Thank
you
you for
enjoy your
having me.
president.
Nice
All
to
right,
meet
it's
you.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Have fun watching
Have a
the
good
game.
one.
Oh my goodness. That is a little preview of what we're going to get when we get into this game. Now, this is actually the rematch, though. You guys had a big bet over the first game that went down, and Steve
it was
was
a lot of
actually
fun.
the winner there, too.
Yeah,
So you
that's
must be
right.
feeling pretty good?
Yeah, I mean the last time that we played these matches, we won. Yeah, which was fantastic. Actually, City Year wanted me to pass this on. They said thank you for the $15,000.
Yeah, it's a great cause for sure. I mean, definitely would have felt better coming from Steve's pocket, but still feels great coming from mine.
Yeah. Now, you guys, because I remember when you even made that bet, you were like, well, they were practicing earlier than us, so you were a little bit shaky on it. But now you guys have had 7 weeks of practice. You feeling better now?
Well, going into the first game, right, I definitely thought that TL had the advantage. But still going into this game, we haven't played nearly as well as our previous seasons. I do think that we have the competitive edge. Maybe like 55-45, but it's still extremely close.
Yeah, it's actually been really interesting because you keep talking a lot about communication in a lot of the interviews, and I definitely agree with you how important that is at the pinnacle, this level of League of Legends. Do you feel like the changes you made towards, communication, bringing in Mithy and stuff like that, has started to work out, or if it's just such a long process that you're looking towards summer?
So I think overall we didn't make the wrong rest decisions, right? Regardless of the result for spring, I think that the payout really is going to be summer and worlds. I don't see a world where we don't make worlds.
Yeah.
And I think that we're going to do a lot better this year than our other years. We haven't made out of groups yet. We won 3 years in a row. It's extremely disappointing when you go to Worlds 3 years in a row and you get knocked out of groups 3 years in a row, right? So regardless how fans feel or anyone feels, what we had just wasn't working, and we needed to change it. And we're gonna see when it comes time for Worlds.
All the players and coaches and stuff I've been talking to are actually, even though you guys aren't in the middle of the pack right now, they still say TSM is like the scary team for playoffs. What are your feelings on that, Steve? Because you've built in the offseason, you went ham. You're taking fans one by one. You bought up a bunch of players, and you've built, such a strong team here. How are you feeling headed into playoffs?
I think, I have a respect for Andy and all the accomplishments over the last, 5 years with some championships in North America, which is fantastic. So, for this match in particular, we're going in focused. We don't underestimate TSM, even though we pretty much stomped them in the last time we played, which is, but they have improved. And I think we did come into the season really prepped. We had the Korean boot camp. So I think this should be a pretty good match.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really shit talk here. TL did stomp us last season. It was it was actually embarrassing. I was furious. Like from like a betting perspective, it wasn't even about the bet. It was just about how badly we played our first game, and I think it's taken a really long time for us to gel. And I don't think we have what it takes yet to really win playoffs. We have to keep improving. We have a couple weeks left. We have to really gel and to make sure that our communication and our play and at the rate where we pick up the new patch does pick up for sure.
Speaking of the new patch, we're into Champion Select here, and there have been a lot of changes that a lot of players are excited for with the new patch, especially in the jungle, taking away Tracker's Knife so we can have more, combat smites. And I think I heard, not only Mike, but also Bjergsen talking about how, that's good for him, and he has been the rookie guy that is kind of looking for more fights. If he gets Olaf, like Olaf right now is the premier early game fighting, very good at snowballing champion. Is that sort of a direction that the team has been heading, or are you more hands-off now?
So for this season specifically, I'm completely hands-off. In all the other previous seasons, because there's relegation, right? And yeah, I've worked so hard in LCS. I really, really didn't have like the mindset of really thinking about, okay, what kind of roster changes can we make to have success at Worlds 3 years down the road. And so it was always about now. And so when things went wrong, when it looked like we were directionless, I had to step in and make sure that we continued to make finals. I'm not involved at all right now. I have only played like 5 games of League with them last week, and outside of that, I haven't played for 4 months. So I don't really follow the meta, but we did play really slow, and we played to not lose for the first 6 weeks, right? As you can tell by our play, our game times were forever. And any early game team, we just got stomped, like TL. They pulled the trigger and stomped us. And so I'm hoping that because of this new patch, we can really pick up our style and change it for playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, for us, I haven't been involved with the team this season. I made a conscientious decision to say, I'm going to back off. I'm just going to provide support for the coaching staff and see how things go. We have a pretty robust coaching staff. We have Kane as the head coach, and we have Dodo as the assistant coach, and we have a head analyst. we have a lot going on, so I just want to provide them the resources and the tools to do the best.
Yeah.
So I'm not as familiar with the meta. I do play. And I think that Olaf is pretty strong.
You've been on the receiving end of some.
Yeah, some Olaf modes because I play AD carry, and so it's
yeah.
Steve plays like 10, 20 hours of League a week. He's still stuck in gold or platinum.
What are you right now?
6 years.
Because you said you played like a couple.
So I'm unranked, but I'm sure if I played for a week, I'd have a higher ranking than Steve.
I'm sure, right?
I'm sure. I'll prove it.
Well, you guys used to play together so much. You guys.
Yeah, we used to do a lot. Yeah.
I carried him to diamond. It was so heavy.
This is not true. Actually,
so
go
hard.
back and look at the stats. I carried him.
You can actually do that now. Go back on OPGG and look at the specific duo stats.
Can you? I didn't know that.
We'll dig into the
We'll
history.
have to dig into that to find out.
You really want them to look at your stats, dude?
We'll see about that.
Yeah, I think this game's going to be super interesting though, because you guys are both just outside of the playoffs. Like all the fans are feeling like pretty comfortable for both your teams. They're like, oh yeah, they'll get in, right? But there is still a chance.
Yep.
And so this is going to be actually a pretty important game for both your teams, since there's only 3 more after this.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right here at the tail end of the first split. Like every one of these games matter. It basically sets up if you're going to be able to get into playoffs or not. So for us, I think if we win today, if we pick up one more win, then we're secured playoffs. I'm not sure about TSM. I think you guys have to
Honestly,
like 3, right?
I've never been so afraid that we won't make playoffs, right? So
Never?
Like if you look at Legacy, we've gone to the finals 10 times. We've won 6 of them. And I have to say, like if we don't make playoffs, I mean, I would like off camera. I don't even know what to do. Like I would be furious. Let's talk about that when it happens. But I'm actually extremely nervous. I hope we play well. I hope we can take the playoff spot from CLG. I'm super nervous about it.
Yep. I mean, same thing for us. I mean, we made such an incredible investment during the offseason, and we want that to pay off. And playoffs is is an absolute must. Yeah. So I'm a little nervous too. We lost a few games that we should have won, but we've been focusing a lot on communication over the last couple weeks. So hopefully that tightens up, then we'll improve our game.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it just gets so intense right now. And I know that especially for players like Mike Young, the newer guys that are the focus, when you join a team like TSM with so much legacy, a lot of it is also just the mental game, of all the pressure for people criticizing you and stuff.
I'm glad he's getting stomped, man. I mean, like, I don't want him. I don't want it to be easy for him, right?
And you want
Think
trial
about
by
it.
fire.
Exactly. At the end of the day, I want him to be composed, going to Worlds, going into Summer, really strong. And sometimes, if you're a new player and you get on a really good team, you get carried. It gets to your head, and you feel like without like this player, you won't be able to get that far. It's really important for him to be humble.
It's actually super interesting too, because you have a long history of like breeding talent. Like you got Bjergsen, you got Hansa pretty early on, and you kind of have molded a lot of these guys into top tier North American talent. You were making fun of Steve for doing kind of the opposite of just like buying top tier talent.
Well, this season we definitely revamped. I think after
Bought.
our
Not rebound, but bot. Change. You use the word.
I guess there's synonyms on that. So, no, we just had to make some changes after the last season. Finishing disappointing split, you just gotta shake things up. That's what we did.
I mean, yeah, huge respect for Steve. Like going into off season, he practically did whatever he could on paper to put together the best possible roster. And from like an organization standpoint, I know that other orgs also spend a lot of money, and they weren't as organized as him. He put together his roster really quickly. On like the 20th of like free agency, he had everything together, and he just hustled. So like, mad respect for him. And I hope TL makes it to playoffs as well, so we can play against him.
I appreciate that, Andy.
Yeah, not shit talking you for once.
Wow,
I know.
that's a surprise.
We have the first Anivia of the season here, Steve.
This is the first Anivia? I thought I saw it played. Maybe it was EU.
Stats just informed me. So
Oh, they did.
You don't have
Okay.
to. You don't have to trust my brain.
Somebody's in your ear, literally.
It was played in Europe, but that doesn't count. We don't want to pay attention to Europe.
I guess Nivea is being played because of the tier change, right?
Yeah.
Is Varus meta right now?
Yeah, Varus is super meta
man.
for AD carries. How do you feel about Double Lift anyways? Double Lift has been on both of your teams. I know that you're really good friends with him. Would you be willing to give us the best thing about having Double Lift on your team and the worst thing about having Double Lift on your team? Or if you want to say no comment, that's totally fine.
No, absolutely. I can touch on that point. So he's a really great leader, and when he's motivated, he can really pull your team together and make like really like push your team ahead, make sure that they have the advantage. And he's just a solid leader to like guide rookies. The worst thing about Double would probably be like is if he really believes in something, it would be impossible to convince him regardless, even if you present things in the most logical way, unless he like really failed at it and it was like trial by fire. But for the most part, Double Lift is a great player, great leader, and so it was a huge pleasure working with him. Even from like outside of esports, he's just a honestly great employee overall. He does whatever you ask and always performs above expectations. And so I love Double. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, Double Lift's fantastic. I mean, not only does he come from like humble beginnings, he's just a good-hearted person. So he kind of listens and appreciates the coaching staff and all of his other teammates. And he's also like an innate leader. And I think people listen to what he says, which is pretty nice, because it can come from the coaching staff or it can come from the players. And for us, a lot that leadership comes from Double Lift.
Yeah, it's interesting because
Respected.
we also had Nate Shaw down here, and he was talking about how he felt like a lot of League players were more subdued than he's used to shooters or Call of Duty, and he's talking about how outgoing everyone is. But Peter is definitely one of the more outspoken guys, and he's been in the scene for so long. We've seen him grow over the years. But it definitely does do a lot for a team, like you're saying, when you do have one of those strong voices.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at even League of Legends esports in general, the amount of like how serious these players are, how serious these teams are, it's just unprecedented compared to, I would say, some of the other esports.
Yeah.
Definitely agree.
I mean, we're a multifaceted esports organization. We have teams in a lot of different games, and League of Legends is by far one of the more like serious, structured games. And it comes to practice and how the scrims work. I mean, there are other esports where there's not even a scrim schedule with other teams where they're working X amount of hours per day, and so with League, it's really focused.
Yeah.
But it's also more developed, right?
Yeah.
League of Legends has been around for what? 7 years, 6 years.
When you're saying talking about how serious it is, though, the only thing I can imagine is the pictures of Ole and Double Lift in dresses, like
Oh my God.
dancing with each other.
That was pretty funny.
See, I was trying to grow
Bonding
that
is
social
important.
Following, that's too much. I wouldn't make my players do that.
I think they wanted to.
I don't know
think it was
about
just
that.
a bonding thing.
We should do that too.
Yeah.
Dress up in dresses?
Let's do it.
All right. Next rematch, we'll have you guys on a.
Bet to dress.
Loser puts on a dress.
Oh,
Oh, actually, for this game.
Okay. All right, that's it, Steve. Loser wears
Bets.
the other person's jersey to the next match.
The next match would be playoffs.
That's a step
Yeah.
down from wearing a dress and dancing, but.
I don't know if I want to wear a dress.
Less than that. That sounds good. I'll do that.
All right.
Nice. Always have the high stakes.
I don't want to make big bets anymore. You know, I always lose them.
Yeah, you lost the last time.
All right. What about First Blood, though? Oh, wait. We have a question here
Oh, we
from
do.
Twitter. Trey Felver asks, which champion is your favorite?
Personally?
Yeah.
Absolutely, without a doubt, Fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks. Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. Because back in the day, Fiddlesticks was like beyond broken. I don't know if you remember this, but
Super long fear. Yeah, yeah.
super long fear. So I used to play it back then, and
In support, right?
yeah, in support. Yeah, and so yeah, great champion. I love it. It's fun.
Yeah, Wukong. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh my God. I'm trolling. It has to be between either Gragas or LeBlanc because like I was one of the very first players to popularize it way
Yeah.
back then, and it was really fun during my pro career. Probably Gragas, I would say.
Yeah.
The super fun was AP mode.
I was gonna say,
Pentakill and
Yeah,
Gragas.
yeah.
Yeah, and was it Worlds?
First pentakill in competitive play on Gragas.
Oh wow.
Or one of the first.
yeah. Was that during the time of Deathfire Grasp? So you could like super one-shot someone with.
Yeah, but you didn't go DFG and Gragas at the
Okay.
time though. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to like playing
Pro
Ash, but when it was like Ash mid with teleport, and you teleport arrow from base.
Oh yeah, that's so sick. You remember back in the era when you teleport the minion?
that was a GG special.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
It's actually so crazy how long both of you guys have played League of Legends.
I
A
know.
long time.
It's crazy.
Literally since the very beginning,
The
like
very beginning beta.
like half of your entire life.
Yeah.
Well, not mine. I'm much older.
Me too. Me too. We're not-
So,
You know what's crazy? How much Steve plays.
I play a
what
game a
rank he
night.
is.
I play a game a night.
Oh wait, we got
How's the
another
game
one.
going? Let's talk about the game. I think we're winning. Oh, it's GP gold.
Yeah, you're winning all right. Wait, we got another one here. Do you ever think about coming back as a player? I guess we can do this one's specifically for Reggie.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I mean, honestly though, I think that if I actually wanted to, I think I probably could. Just because the level of skill from these players. Honestly, a lot of the LCS players just suck. They're just really bad.
I'm looking at your eyes to see if
They're
he's.
just really bad. I mean, the top level players like Bjergsen, Pobelter, a lot of those guys.
Oh, here we
It's
go.
gonna be really
this
hard.
might be first
Yeah.
blood.
Oh, Team Liquid calling his shot.
Come on. Get the
No,
knockout.
Walter, oh.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, God.
Uh-oh. And they have Rise ult coming too. This could be a double kill for.
Bjergsen is gonna arrive.
Yeah, that's 1-for-1. Hopefully get pressure mid off of it.
Yeah, it looks like your boy Bjergsen's doing pretty well on the rise there.
Yeah, he's stomping Pobelter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, when I used to play TO, I used to own Pobelter all the time. There are replays of it, my friend.
Back when he
can't even
was
recall.
15 years old, or
Yeah, dude.
16.
Yeah, when he was like
Taking candy from a
14.
baby. It was like taking candy from a baby. Hey, age, gender, race doesn't matter in esports.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. You're not bounded by like height to perform.
As long as you can use the keyboard and mouse.
Exactly.
Good
Oh, it's
go.
intelligence.
Yeah, intelligence. Yep. 200 IQ, man.
Yep.
It's actually now I'm remembering Pobelter's interview because he had an Anivia pick before specifically into Vlad, and I think he was playing against Bjergsen, and he was like, oh yeah, I always thought Anivia was this great counter pick into Vlad. And then I played against Bjergsen. It turned out I had just not played good players before.
It's like the first time, yeah.
Similar situation.
Wait, Vlad stomps the Nuvia, right?
I have no idea.
I think so.
Not at the time, I guess. But Bjergsen defined the meta.
Ooh,
no.
nice. Oh, let's
no.
see.
Oh no.
Is double a 6? I can't tell. Oh, he is.
Yeah.
I think we won this trade, Mike.
Yeah, you won.
He didn't have much
Wait, no.
Oh,
Yes,
Olaf
yes.
there, so yes.
Yes.
you do.
No.
Just double it.
We got him, boys.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on. Don't.
There's no way you missed that axe, right?
What? Oh. Okay.
Oh,
Sorry for my reaction.
yeah.
That's all right. Still early game, Steve.
Still
you
early
have time.
game, yeah.
You're scaling with your
Yeah.
Olivia.
Yeah. This volatile trade.
I think that
Jumper
fan's gonna
was
want
around.
to give you your jersey.
We'll see.
We're gonna get the dragon, I think. Oh no, we're not.
No.
So the other
Reset
thing
off.
that has been pretty big is that people have been talking about your Alienware arena
Oh, yeah.
that you guys got. But explain to me what is different about the Alienware arena compared to computers that they normally like play on. Like what extra is there? In
Yeah,
this,
I think
facility?
part of it is that the Alienware PCs are just great PCs. You know, you can just if you're the type of person where you want to build your own PC, fine, you can go ahead and do that and order it and get it and put it all together. Like, I'm just not that type of person, so if I want a really good PC, I just make it easy. But the Alienware training facility is just it's I think the first time where there's really been a separation between work and home, which has been fantastic, because I don't know if you saw some of the Reddit threads that were up this week, but there was a couple players that were talking about like the mental strain associated with living and working in the same house. And I saw that firsthand with, there was actually one player in particular, I won't mention his name, but he really had it pretty rough in terms of living and working in the same place. And it's just not healthy. So having a place you can go and you can just like put your jersey on, you just spend your full day working, and you can just go home and relax is just fantastic. So
you were one of the first to set up a league, gaming house at least, and it actually was unhealthy. Odd One was only living off chicken nuggets, and he had to go to the hospital, I think.
Hey, he just didn't take care of himself, man. But even from the office perspective too, we didn't do it to the level of what TL did, but we tried to do that 2 years ago. And the players just really didn't like leaving home because they're so used to that culture and playing from the gaming house. We tried that for like a year and went back. But I think from a TL perspective, super excited they did that because they built their facility specifically to that for competition. And what we did was we just had an office space, and so we're looking to do the same thing too. But Steve's paving the road, super cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool because it was basically an empty space, and we custom designed it. So we brought the league players in and the coaching staff. We said, what should we build? How are we going to build it? What do we want the function to look like? Where are we going to put a wall? What's the technology going to be? How's it going to function? What do you exactly want to do? And so all of that stuff got built in. It took 8 months, actually.
Does the technology make your players better? What kind
Still
of technology
early
do
to
you
tell.
have? I'm missing some technology.
Is it you have a masseuse set up, the massage technology?
No, Steve gives it personally to the players.
Do you think it's like player by player basis? Which one is better? Because you're talking about some of your players actually preferred the team house style, or
Just all of them, but I think that what Steve is doing is right. You just need to make sure that everything that you do around it is beneficial. We didn't do it like nearly as well as they're doing it. So
he's just better then?
yeah, I mean for now, yeah. In that one instance.
I mean, just from a business perspective, it was an idea a while ago, and the icing on the cake was kind of that experience with the player. And I said, look, we just got to change this, set the new standard. And I think a lot of the other teams are going to come to find out that you can get a lot done with the right space.
Does this mean team house parties are a thing of the past? Because that is something I really miss, especially about the Curse House team parties.
That's the one thing that TL's first place at. Throwing great
There
parties.
was some good parties. Actually, what was it? It was like season 1 after Worlds. We did the big party at the Curse House.
Yeah.
No, season two.
Oh, sorry,
Season one's like.
Season 1 was like Who Bears.
No, season one's in DreamHack, right? And that was League One wasn't a thing. Season 2 is when Congrats was involved.
Yeah.
That was so cool. Your house is so cool back then.
Oh, it was like a mansion.
Yeah, I
I mean,
know.
that was like beyond anything anybody else was doing.
Steve's always doing big things.
Yeah. It's always cool at those parties because all the players, when people see them competing on stage, they're talking in interviews and stuff, and Double is like, everyone knows it's trash, but then you see him at the party, and
Yeah, everybody's a
everyone's
normal
just,
guy. Yeah, everybody gets along for the most part.
Yeah. All right, we got a new question.
Yep.
From @Azera. Favorite moments of your entire career?
Let's start with you, Kobe. Come on.
Me?
Yeah.
Have fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know how to jump. Chick sticky loads. That was pretty sick. Yeah.
It was definitely WCG in 2010 when
Oh.
you guys, I forget why you didn't get to go.
I got banned.
You got banned.
Wait, why did you get banned? I don't remember
Because
this.
someone hacked Hotshot's account, right? And I thought it'd be hilarious to duo queue with him. And he was ranked 2, I was ranked 1.
Oh, yeah.
And based on the elo system at that time, if someone is in your game and they're second and you're first, they get more elo than you. So I duo queued with a hacker and I brought Hotshot into rank 1. And Riot banned me because they thought I was like colluding with the hacker to like mess with Hotshot, and I was live streaming the whole thing, just making fun of Hotshot, being super toxic.
Oh
so
my
clowning
God.
on him. I got banned. And I was
Good
super
play.
sad because we were the better team at that time. This is real.
I enjoyed it. That was back in the Wild West days when everyone was just like, yeah, I'll stream, playing with a hacker or whatever.
The nobody.
Yeah, Hotshot, let's play together. That's sick.
Yeah, that was super fun though, because your brother went with his team with like West Rice, and I'm not sure if Dyrus was on it at that time, but we won COG. We got the gold medal.
Oh, really?
So that was by far my favorite moment because that was the only moment where I actually like won a big tournament, and we got to feel like I was like, oh yeah, I'm the best. And now it was actually a worldwide tournament, even though the player base was super small. And then I got to meet Brandon and Mark, and like we walked up to their like rooftop party or whatever.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I was so salty.
What about you? What about your career? What's the best?
I can't think of one, honestly. It's so hard.
There's too many good ones to choose from. What about the moment you met Steve?
I mean, I met Steve really early on when I was like, what, 16?
Yeah, super early.
I mean, let's do Steve. You talk about your career. It was really short-lived, but it's okay. It was like 13 months or whatever, but let's just start there.
It's not short-lived. I've been in the scene for a while.
I mean, your
but
career includes.
it includes all the business things. I mean,
Oh, no,
we
esports. Oh, okay,
Yeah, we pioneered business and sponsorships. And
Oh,
team
never mind, you're
houses
right.
and-
We're talking about-
Yeah.
All right, which one?
I think my best moment was probably MSG when we played there. I thought the crowd at MSG was just insane. Like I had never seen so many fans in one place that in North America for a tournament here. So that was just awesome. And then when we were on stage and we won, it was just incredible, And just to be in New York, it was awesome.
I thought you were gonna say because TSM lost to COG also. And
Oh, did you guys lose in that one?
Yeah, I went 0-3, dude.
Oh,
So depressing. I just remember the sad parts. I don't really like get too excited when we win, so
yeah.
I'm trying to think right now.
I feel like that's the mindset of a lot of players. Like sometimes in ranked, when you win a game, you're like, that was expected. Give me my deserved ELO, you
Right,
punk.
yeah.
And then when you lose, you're like, ugh.
It's probably IPL 4 we won.
Hey, how's it going?
Is that MSG thing? How's it
Yeah.
going? Should I grab this if I want to talk
Yeah.
about it?
So
I was-
Mark was a
Yeah,
Team
Mark was
Liquid
there.
coach.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was like me and Peter Zhang were like splitting time on it. That loss, when TSM lost, sucked because it made us go into the gauntlet. Don't you remember?
Yes, oh yeah, that's right.
And
You're
we,
right.
All right, so
And
I
then
don't
we
know if
had
this
to
is
go
too much
into-
info, but we scrimmed you guys to warm you up, and we smashed you, and we were like,
Oh God.
crap.
No.
We just like ruined their mentality going into the finals.
Yeah, that's right.
And like we scared you guys off Yasuo at the point because like that was a high priority
We
pick.
should have been Yasuo. We would have probably won if we been Yasuo.
Yeah, it was like mental boom.
God damn
I was like,
it.
I think we just ruined them, and then they got 3-0'd, and we're like, ugh.
yeah.
I didn't feel like bringing Steve to Worlds. I wanted him to get there with his own merits.
Gosh, it's been a struggle to go to Worlds. I will say that. Like we have had some. There's definitely some things where it's been like
This
the
game is
worst.
also a
moment.
struggle for you, my friend.
This isn't looking so good. I'm
This
gonna.
is tough. Yeah. Just step out quietly.
I got the segment.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Olay 0-3 now on the Thresh.
Yeah. I think TSM did a really good job playing towards bot side here in this game. Just got off one gank and then the dive, and I think Herald is just kind of worthless. I'm not a fan of giving up the bot side of the map for Herald.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times we actually see you get less than a turret with a Herald.
Yeah, it's just like the other team's gonna be on the other side of the map diving bot. So,
Oh no. Oh no.
ooh, what a quick cleanse.
But it's
Oh, that's fine.
Bjergsen,
We got
though.
this actually. You guys are.
yeah. Well, Skarner's coming.
You guys
Ooh, that-
overextended. Oh, never mind. Oh, never mind. Wait, so let's talk about this game real quick. Which comp actually outscales? Because I feel like our comp outscales. We have GP and Ezreal, and Ezreal does more DPS than Varus late game, or I'm not sure actually.
So I really like Anivia later though, as she scales, because then she's so hard to push on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally not a fan of the Varus into Olaf. You know, immobile carry, you know, it's running at you.
It's gonna be really hard though when we're fighting around Baron, because if you think about it, right? Because their backline's so immobile, we just need to bait them in, and we're probably gonna ace them. I mean, theoretically, if we play it right, and then we should be able to get Baron and end the game that way. But it's gonna be really hard for us to siege. So this game gets to 40 minutes, TL has a much better chance because their comp probably outscales. But I think that if we play clean, we should win just with this lead.
It depends if we can get if we can get the Rise pick with the Skarner roll and then Silence after. You got a pretty good CC chain. It's just whether or not you can get it off. But I think he went QSS. So
You do have Gangplank though. So a lot of people after the nerfs to Gangplank on this patch on 8.4 were like, oh, it's probably out there. But a lot of them were earlier game nerfs, you know, mana and cost and stuff like that. So Haunter is kind of your late game insurance policy.
Yeah, it's just so hard for like your comp to actually get to our backline. That's the issue.
yeah. Well, you can hopefully get a pick with Anivia or something, or
Just kill Olaf. When he turns red, that's your signal, Steve. You can't get away from him, so you just say, everyone help.
exactly. Just run. Help me. Help me. Help me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Teal needs to kill Braum and then get an objective in order to win this game. They're not gonna be able to kill the backline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the comp is a little weird.
Yeah, I don't like your draft this game. But
How you been feeling about Kane?
I think you know, Kane has a lot more to prove. I think the best times need to be ahead of him. He has been provided an amazing roster. He needs to do something with it.
that's true, right? Last year, TL had a crappy roster. Kane stepped in, and so he could still be like, hey, this roster is weak. Now he has no excuses if TL underperforms because their players are really good.
Yeah, we've got amazing group players, so.
I can feel how nervous I am. Like, I got all the pieces. I got all the pieces.
should work. Like, what the fuck's going on?
I feel that a little bit too, right? Like, we got Sven Mithy. They've won like 3-4 ULCSs. We have Bjergsen. We have Haunter. They won 3 back-to-back. So all our guys are really like solid players that have proven themselves year after year after year. We have Mike, which is an up-and-comer. And honestly, we should still be able to win even if Mike is average, right? This is a flat-out truth. And so, like, I'm nervous when, like, our team was like, oh, are we going to make playoffs? Like, what's going on? I'm trying my best to not get involved, like, staying on the sideline because it's not. Like,
That's one of the hardest things to do is to, like, sit back and watch when you want to be able to say something. But the thing is, you're not there every day during scrims to watch everything and command actual respect for your opinion to the guys, so you're not going to say anything. So you're just going to watch it. You know, it's just like
I don't respect you, but I like you.
So you're like, you want to say something, you want to try to fix it, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, you got yourself a Korean coach as well. How you feeling about that purchase?
I mean, look, Song has had a really good track record so far. For us, though, that's not
This is huge.
Oh, dude, this is really bad. Oh, dude, this is really bad for us. Jesus Christ.
Double lift. Popping off.
That was really bad for us. We can't take a fight like that. We have to flank and be the ones that engage.
No, it's just like there's a lot of CC, so you know Olaf can run in and charge, but you know you throw down an Anivia wall, you got to run around it, you get kited.
But our comp should never fight front to front though. That's the thing. We should come in at all angles, and that's where you should just lose, right? Like when we take a front to front fight, we're asking to lose that fight. So that was not good on our players.
Yeah, you didn't lose too much off of it though.
We might lose this mountain. Yeah, we might lose this mountain.
Oh, they're teleporting in though.
No. This could be bad for you guys.
You need to just do the wall, just wall.
You guys are. Oh god, damn. Oh god.
Oh man.
We got this.
Impact.
We got
No.
this. Pearson doesn't vault, but
Alright.
you guys might
We
lose.
got the mountain, didn't we?
Yeah, you got the Drake, so I think it's still.
It's bright here.
Baron is up though.
It's like I'm like trying to see.
Are these lights?
Jeez. Okay, so we've got 2 mountains, right? Maybe we could just like use the blast plant and just burn.
Mountains don't do anything for you this game because the thing is that with your comp, you have to stay front to front and you have to take those fights. You don't really sneak objectives and go fast pace because that's when you're like putting yourself in a position where you have a better fight.
We have a new tweet here from @Mr. Yokes. Last week's stream gave pizza to the cameraman. What are you providing for him this week? Hashtag definitely not the cameraman. We have Jersey Mike's coming, I believe. So we got you covered. I don't know if they've asked you yet, what type of sandwich you would prefer, but I'm pretty sure we can get Joel or something.
Absolutely. If you want a TL jersey, I'll give you one.
Yeah. we got Smoothie watching over here. Why don't you give him the microphone and have Cloud9 weigh in? Now, these are two teams that are just beneath you guys.
Whoa, dude, I don't know about the last time, dude. We knocked him out a lot of times.
Oh, come on. Let's see.
Teams before, right? Yeah, I think we have.
Oh, this is.
Oh, no.
He wins last time.
Oh, wow, Mike landed a smite, dude. Oh, shit, dude, we're going to win Worlds now. I'm just kidding.
He's had the training he needs in NA.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel like, because you played against them, how has Mike Young kind of progressed?
Am I just looking at it?
No, be real. Be real. You can be honest here. It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, he's a rookie. Rookies are gonna take a long time to ramp up. Like
AKA,
too.
he's not doing that well. He's a
So-
rookie. Toxic.
What? No.
Toxicity.
All rookies. take
He
a
was
while
a
to ramp
rookie
up.
once.
Yeah, me too. I was so bad at first.
Okay.
2016 Worlds. Whew.
Oh, whoa.
A lot of players do.
Yeah, a lot of players do. That's true.
Every great player will think that they do.
Exactly.
That's a good answer. That's a
Hey,
good
you're not FLICKR.
Your answer.
All right. Is that all you needed to win this though? 7,000 over 7,000 goal lead. You
We've
have
lost
Barrett,
the
but-
7,000 gold before, man. I think we have a good. I think we have a good chance of winning
Yeah.
this game now.
Yeah, this is going to be tough, I think.
We need to get aced and then throw, and then the game lasts 10 more minutes, and then that's where.
I'm just like I'm not a fan of Varus. I just feel like.
Yeah, I can tell. You are just hating on this.
I just do not like the Varus.
Like, I play AD carry. Garbage.
Has the champion been doing well in picks?
Yeah.
I like.
Actually, he's lost a lot of games. So he's been
he has.
very popular, a lot of picks, but
Yep.
the win percentage, at least in North America,
Is super
I'm not gonna
low.
lie. I saw a double up in Varus. I'm like, oh, we have such a good chance of winning this game.
Really, you said that?
No, double up's no, in my mind. Right? Double up's a really good player, but I just don't think Varus is his type of champion, right? Like
think
some
of like Lucian, more mobility or something.
Lucian, Tristana, Caitlyn. Yeah, more auto-based champions than like ability-based champions. But he's good on Ezreal though, so.
Yeah. He's got the Rage Blade. He's got the Wit's End. Looks like he's going Bork next.
Yeah. That's a lot of damage.
He's gonna try and kill tanks then. Probably Bork is actually pretty good for killing Olaf. And again, I still think like that's where you guys could lose the game if Mike tries to charge in. When Olaf pops his ult, he gets reduced resistances, and if he gets walled off or something like you're saying.
The only way we lose this game is if Mithy or Mike plays bad.
Yeah,
Because
front
they're
line.
a front line, and our back line can never die.
Yeah.
And so if we lose this game, it's probably gonna be Mike or.
Oh, you guys also have the banner minion too.
Yeah. Because I was like, oh yeah, Nivea, wave clear's so good, but it doesn't really work.
Oh, look at that.
He
Olay
pulled
put
the banner minion
Yeah.
closer. What a genius.
But he didn't get it. Nobody killed it with a. Do you have any materializers?
I don't know why we're not doing 1-4 though. Like we need to be pushing another line too. There.
Yeah, Hansor is.
Nah,
on mid.
yeah, he just got there. Well, it could have been better, right?
Always could have been better. Exactly. Just, where's the belt? The fans are just waiting for the belt to come out. You get the itch to go in there.
This is definitely a good rotation. Oh. And we get the bot tower now.
Yeah.
Looking to even it up.
1-1.
for the season.
1-1.
Yeah.
Damn it! I'm so sad we didn't do a big bet now. I win when it doesn't
You were gonna do a
matter.
big bet.
Yeah.
Now you want to up it to the dancing on
It's
stage
real
in a
quick.
dress, right?
$20,000.
No.
To City Year. Let's
Wait,
go.
why would I ever
you not
do
believe
that?
in City Year?
Why would I ever do that?
It's for a great cause, Steve. $25,000.
Just give away money?
2-1 odds.
We have another tweet here from Trace B. What league meme is your favorite? You guys actually have a lot of your own memes.
Wait, what's a meme?
What's
What's a Mimi?
what's your favorite and least favorite?
Oh man, I can't. I'm put on the spot. I can't think. I'm a choker. Steve, I'm gonna put this question to you.
My favorite meme? I mean,
Paid by Steve.
it's got to guess fourth. I mean, I hate it, but it's like it surrounds us at all times. It's like fourth.
Uh-oh. What about Top Die?
Yeah, I guess that's relevant at the moment.
Kobe, what's your favorite meme?
My favorite meme? I don't know. That is a difficult one.
Because I feel like with all memes, it starts and it's really funny, then it gets overused and you're just totally over it. Right?
Actually, I think my favorite is Azale when they had the Twitch chat face of Mr. Scoots, that looks like Azale, and it would be like "My time to talk now" or whatever, and everyone would spam that in Twitch chat.
I know my favorite meme.
Okay.
Bolt Boy. Dude, the whole time when they were spamming Bolt Boy, but Golden Glue was so
Golden Glue?
funny.
Yeah,
I just
funny.
put the chat like Bolt Boy, Bolt Boy.
I think those are the funnest ones, where they Twitch chat interactive. And
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's where most of them are born, right?
Yeah.
Twitch chat.
I'm one of those Twitchers. I'm super toxic in chat.
Yeah, I seen you in the
Do
stream.
you have like an alias or something, or
No,
you just?
I go into the chat, spam TSM over and over, and just say dumb things.
Nice.
As long as you don't say anything like Odie did.
Oh my god, no way.
Odie.
Oh.
You think he ran out of mouse pads? No, it's kidding.
Oh my god.
Too toxic. I'm too
Toxic. Whatever happened to him? I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, I mean, he got kicked out of the league, I guess, or didn't get back in.
Didn't get back in.
Yeah.
That's a wrap.
Unfortunate.
You guys are the survivors.
Yeah. I'm a
Some of the old
survivor.
crew.
We just play the song, Steve, right now.
This is good. We've got dancing and singing. I feel like this is gonna turn into something.
And dresses?
We need to invite Noah on this with us too.
Oh my gosh.
I'm toxic.
No, no.
Well, I mean,
Throwback,
personally, I'm
throwback
fine
there.
with it. I think he's a great guy.
Noah's a great guy. I love him.
Yeah,
I'm
nice.
hanging out with him tomorrow.
This is some good content, though. You guys are always looking for new content. You guys should take like a tango class together or something like that.
I don't know about
Get
that.
that in there.
I'm not a good dancer.
You're not feeling it?
No,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can't
You're
move.
not good now. You have to work at it, Steve. You
Exactly.
can't-
That would be
things don't
super
just get
awkward
handed
and
to you.
weird.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
All right.
No,
Just
no
bad
dancing.
ideas here.
Bad idea.
There are no bad ideas. I've decided there are no bad ideas on this stream, okay?
Okay.
Especially mine.
Okay.
Definitely bad ideas exist in this world.
All right, give me an idea for your comeback then, Steve.
Our
Make it
comeback.
happen.
Let's see. We're down 12,000 gold.
Have you heard about a miracle?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I don't think it's
No,
possible.
honestly, I really feel uncomfortable, right? Because we were up 10K like 3 minutes ago. We should have broken their base. We haven't yet. We're relying on the Baron and Elder, so
Well, here's the thing: is Anivia is just has wave clear, right? It's super hard to push against Anivia. That was like Froggen's specialty. What's delay games, right? Oh, here you go.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Okay,
God.
GG's, bro.
that's GG.
There you go. Oh, and the realm warp.
And Nivea, kill her.
Double lift.
Double
Look at that! Like the 80 carry's not doing any damage.
I mean, you
Hey,
can't.
he flashed.
He used flash for once.
All right, I'm not a fan of ours. I'm saying it for the third time now.
Okay. Yeah.
Just in case you didn't
So,
know.
Steve, what is your least favorite 80 carry?
It's not obvious.
Uh-oh.
I think that's what you do when you're just like, I think we lost, guys.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like, okay. Me up my CS per 30.
You guys have gotten used to being on the sidelines, though. Sitting here watching, because you haven't been players for a while. So you're taking this loss well, I'm saying.
You know, it sucks. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. TSM has improved through the rest of the split. And, we just need to win a few more games to make it playoffs. So it doesn't need to happen here. Really depends on what kind of team you are by the time playoffs start.
That is correct. That's why their first season one doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And this one doesn't matter either.
Are you guys just both just already looking for worlds? You're just looking at summer?
No,
I
I'm
think
sweating my ass
playoffs.
off, dude. We might not even make playoffs. Let's be real here. Yeah.
Yeah.
CLG did win, so
Yeah.
they're coming for one of your spots.
I'm really nervous. So I think if we win one more, I think we secure it. Unless CLG goes 4-0, we have the 1 game advantage on them. If we beat them, though, they're out for sure. This could be still the very first season where we don't make playoffs. That'd be really sad.
Yeah, that would be nuts.
Yep. I feel the same way. I mean, we have to make playoffs. It's just I would be really disappointed if we didn't make it.
Yeah, because like you said, you got all the pieces together. You did as much. You got an Alienware facility. You got their own living quarters.
Put together a good roster. At this point, it just needs to meld together. I mean, a lot of this is on Kane. As a head coach, he's responsible for delivering results with all the resources he has.
I think, Steve has absolutely done everything he can from a CEO's perspective to set his team up for success. And it's really up to the players, the coaching staff now.
Yeah, it's always rough to have it taken out of your hands though at that point. Do you wish that you could go back into preseason and all the off-season roster stuff how
doing
was
it different.
how was that time? Because it was like it must have been crazy. Everyone
Oh,
I
it was
talked to was
insane,
like, "Oh yeah,
yeah.
sleepless nights. We're making deals at 5 a.m." and
It was insane. I mean, I didn't get much sleep. I tried to start the preparation for the off season like 30 days before most of the people were starting to think about it, and so we were, I think, extremely thoughtful, calculated. Yeah, that's actually part of it too. Is just
Calculated.
making
got a
good
couple of
right
extra phones
budget.
lying around for the.
Yeah,
Calculator. Calculator.
what? Calculated.
Calculator. He's like, I might pee it now. It's like, how much money am I going to lose? I'm sorry.
Were you ever nervous about the off-season changes that you were going to make? Because we talk about it a little bit on our podcast. You were in a really unique situation. You know, TSM's always been at the top. You know, you have all the fans. You have everything, but world performances. And so you want to make your changes looking at world performances, right? Because you want to do well at Worlds. But in order to do that, you gave up one of the best, players. Not only the players receive, but also a lot of fans are attached to Double Lift. Were you worried about that kind of downside to the trades or whatever, or were you just like, we need to win Worlds? I want to make everything, towards that goal.
I mean, the safe financial play, and from a brand perspective, from a business perspective, is to keep the existing roster, right? And winning Worlds is like definitely a passion of mine, and I really wanted to make changes that reflect that. And I feel like with the bot lane that we picked up is gonna be a lot better on Worlds, or not on Worlds, but at Worlds than the bot lane that we had. And then even from a jungle perspective too, I think that Mike, from a skill cap perspective, is going to be better than Sven by Worlds. Now, right now, definitively, I think that, without being biased, I think that Sven is more experienced. He's a better player right now, but we're definitely betting for the long run. And so, and we're given the resources to do that, right? So I was a little nervous, but at the same time, just going to the season, losing the first match, like being at the very bottom, just very, it reminds me of like the Yellow Star split, but in a sense where even though we are not placed very high, I'm still confident in all of our players, and I think we're going to stick with this roster for a long time. To answer your question.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I was talking about before, you do have a history of like bringing in younger players. Did that kind of weigh on your choice to go with Mike Young rather than someone like Smithy, who's also an NA jungler or whatever, and has more seniority, more experience at Worlds? Do you feel like you're super focused in on, I always want the hungry young player so you can develop them?
It's a combination of both, right? You need to surround your rookie player with a good amount of veterans to train them up to make sure that they can become a world-class player. But if you bet in 5 veterans, it's not a good strategy because eventually your roster is just not going to be strong, whether it be through mechanical reasons or how hungry they are or like how motivated they are. So you have to have a good balance of both on your team to be successful. And had we gone after Eric Smithy, I don't think that our roster would have been like a roster that would be able to front Worlds. Not that Eric Smithy wasn't like better than Mike Young on paper at that time, but because I'm making a decision for Worlds in the future.
Steve, who is that? I keep seeing that guy in a Team Liquid jersey. He's wearing like a Smithy jersey.
His name's Brad. So
Okay.
he was just a fan that came to the first week of LCS, and we were
Okay.
doing the meet and greet out and met him, and he wants to volunteer with the team, so he helps out.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay, I thought it was like some super top secret challenger player or
Oh,
whatever.
no. No, he's just a staff member.
Bringing up the young ones.
Do you think NA's going to get out of groups this year, Copes?
I always think NA is going to get.
Yeah, I know. Every year I hope so.
I'm wrong most of the time. And then right after Worlds, I'm always very depressed, and I'm like, never again. I'm not buying into this, hype garbage. But as the split goes on, you can't help but
Yes.
think, yeah.
Yeah, there's some good teams that could really do a dent.
Yeah. Next week on the lounge, we are going to have Rick Fox and a bunch of Echo Fox players. We're not sure which ones. So stay tuned for that. We're not sure who's going to host it yet, but there's going to be a ton of Echo Fox guys. Have you guys have both met, Rick Fox?
Oh, absolutely.
Done a lot of the
Yeah.
owner stuff with him.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, nice dude. I'm going to work out with them sometime soon.
Yeah? All right, well, we're going to throw it over to the analyst desk and catch up on that game.
Cool.
Play Camille and Vladimir, and Team Liquid hasn't looked good. So they're saying we must put him on a tank. And then they needed to actually make sure he was on at least a serviceable tank against the Gangplank. Otherwise, they'd be hitting ban phase 2. And that then also hurt Pobelter. So, pretty much by TSM picking Gangplank there, they forced 2 matchups to be worse for Team Liquid.
All right, so that's very intelligent, analysis done by TSM to know that they could force Team Liquid into that position. By the same token, this is where Impact as a player is hindering his team if he's not giving them the option to say, hey, when they pick GP, I'll happily play a Camille into it.
And it results in the in-game strategy being a little bit questionable to me, because it's fine to try and hold down a GP in a carry versus carry matchup or one of the snowballier ones, but the kill with a choke gap isn't going to result in too much, and as well as the fact that TSM was playing around the weaker early game was a huge deal.
Yeah, and then you think that TL would want to play around the bottom side, because when their bottom side doesn't win, they lose the game. And here, after all of the shenanigans had happened top lane, Mike Young just passed down bottom with Predator gank on Olaf, and they, even though it wasn't the cleanest kill, it had to use Ven's flash. That gives them what they needed to break that bottom turret open. Right. And from there, it felt like TSM didn't really relent the pressure, even if Team Liquid got a few mountain picks.
Yeah, they were able to find a couple pickoffs on TL's side, but then this dragon that they do shows that they're not super coordinated in what they want. So Impact kind of ends up in the middle of the team, still running forward, gets his Braum passive stacked. He's the only one, the only tank in the front, so that it's very easy for the 3-4 range members of TSM to focus them down. And then their vision control around Baron was perfect here. They actually find that pick off, and this is what's going to be the game-winning fight for them. Baron's not even up yet, and they find that kill onto Smithy.
So here's my question to you guys. Do you believe that this is a continuation of the steady climb for TSM?
I think it is, and I also think it's a continuation of what's been happening with Team Liquid, where there are so many really good top laners in the league that can play carry matchups. And even though this is more of a tank patch, reaching back in time a little bit to go for the nerf gangplank, we've now seen a couple top laners do, and they're showing it to still be viable. So if teams continue to use this as a blueprint to fight Team Liquid, it's pretty worrying for them.
The problem with GP was that he always got countered, but now that tanks are more prominent, GP was always fine into tanks.
Yeah.
They could kill him once or twice with their better gank setup, but there was never a point where it's like, oh god, now GP's screwed in the side lane the whole game, which you sometimes hit with the carry versus carry matchups. So yeah, take the GP, make him play a tank into it, that's fine. They still got their Ezreal Braum lane. Like, every single game for TSM, it feels like we're seeing Sven on Ezreal, and they keep taking bot turret first, which is really, really impressive.
I think that was his 8th Ezreal game.
Yeah, it's not a pressure lane, and yet they always find ways to win the lane.
Yeah, it's definitely not over for Team Liquid in the sense that this, yes, it's a tough loss to stomach, and they are having a struggling second half, but very much still in position to snag a playoff spot. On the side of TSM, though, in talking to Bjergsen there, he pointed out Mike Young as being one of the major improvements over the split in terms of growth for a player. What is our feeling there of his performance and how he fits into this Mike Jungle meta?
I applaud TSM for so publicly defending Mike Young.
It's the Mike Young patch.
Like, they have been saying Mike Young, like, oh, Mike Young meta, oh, Mike Young carry, Mike Young's finally smurfing for like 2 months. And it's good to give him the positive reinforcement, but I take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. Like, he played really well this game, but he has had a very spotty split.
Yeah, it's been the case where they keep trying to push, like, this is the patch for Mike Young, and maybe this time it finally is, with a little bit more skirmishing champions, a little bit less vision control, more aggressive smites, maybe, but I want to see a couple games in a row.
As a refresher, we're going to pull the standings up, just because with this victory here, both Optic and FlyQuest have been eliminated from playoff contention. So still 3 spots remaining to be snagged, with 5 teams in contention for those spots.
Yeah, and technically CLG.
I knew you were going there.
Could happen with Team Liquid or
just keep saying it, man. Will it? Will it?
No, it will not.
It's gonna happen, guys.
It's gonna happen. All right, we've got one more game before we call it a day. 100 Thieves versus Golden Guardians is coming up next after the break.
They're trying to wait it up for the silence. Could just be the problem. Great knock up there as well. There's the suppressor. Mike Young is too late.
Okay, Cho. I'm about Cho. Someone Cho. Cho on flash. Kill Cho. I can ult this in. Nice. Place hold. Let's go mid.
Bjergsen gonna ride the rest of the team in. This is it. They're gonna try and end the game. Double it. Forced to latch up, but he's still tagged by Braum. Ragnarok, Mike Young just gonna slaughter him. Will be claimed by TSM as they take down Liquid in the rematch.
Play like a pro in City Champs. Earn a spot on your home team and take the fight nationwide in a city versus city battle against some of the best local players from across the country. Online qualifiers begin Sunday, March 11th, with brackets for all skill levels, live gameplay with shoutcasting, and a postseason all-star event hosted by Red Bull. For tickets and more information, go to superleague.com/LOL.